Hello, welcome to my channel, A Blessed Budget. And if you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you're notified that I am budgeting. Before I get started, if you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for coming back to budget with me and support me during this financial journey as I navigate through how to make my money stretch through the month. And to all of my viewers, I hope after this video, you will consider subscribing.
Vibes on vibes, I'm a ticking dynamite. I blow your candle light. You know I'm just that type. No, them no fit kill my vibe. Them no fit kill my vibe. No fit kill, them no fit kill, them no fit kill my eyes are set, full of the stars. Yeah, you shall find her. It's a bad vibe. If you hit your enemies shine. If you're not depend on me, enter the light. Cause you can never kill my vibe. But there is no sacrifices. Everything won't take.
Thank you so much for coming back to budget with me. Now I had just uploaded my week 4 budget setup. Now we're actually going to close out today's budget, this week's budget. So we're going to go ahead and get started with our June paycheck budget tracker. And this paycheck is from the 23rd all the way through the 30th, which is the last day of June. So we're going to go ahead and get started with the inflow section. So for rollover number 1, we actually did roll over $535.67. For rollover number 2, we did actually roll over $480.71. So altogether, our inflow total for week 4 was $1,016.38. So now we're going to go ahead and move down to our fixed expenses, which is our bills that we have to pay for the last week of June. So we have renter's insurance, and that did come in at $24.07. We have Mint Mobile, that came in at $98.39. We have the Way, and the Way came in at $50. We have the lights came in at $27.79. Lights is my electricity. Target came in at $13.42. Best Buy came in at $50. And Klarna came in at $58. I had to purchase a portable AC, so we did purchase that. So now I'm paying for it. So altogether, our fixed expense total for week 4 was $321.67. So as you can see, we were off by a couple of cents. That's because Mint Mobile came in under, the Way came in under, and so forth. So now that we did all of the bills for the last week of June, we're going to go ahead and bring down our leftover, which is $694.71. So as you all can see, our variable expenses for week 4, everything was 0. We did not spend nothing in variable expenses. I am so proud of myself. I told myself I did not want to spend anything. I didn't want to go nowhere. So our variable expenses are 0. So that still left us with $694.71. So as you know, we're just going to go ahead and bring that over here to our actual $694.71. So for our account number 1, we're starting with $483.81 for July. And for our account 2, July start balance is actually $210.90, which is more than $120 that we did actually budget for. So our savings total that we're going to be starting with July is $694.71, which closes out our budget for the month of June. So this is a look at week 4. Like I said, we had a light week this week as far as variable expenses go. We did very, very good. It's been a long time since our variable expenses have been 0. So now we're going to go ahead and look at where did my money go worksheets. Okay, so as you all can see, we are looking at our June debt payment plan. So I want to talk about my debt. So the Ford, which is our Ford car, we owe $5,642.20 on the car, and that's our last car that we have to make a payment on. I am happy about that so much. We need to go ahead and get this payment, this balance down by the end of this year. This balance will be gone. I already know that. So we're working on that. And Best Buy, I did purchase an Apple Watch. So it was, our original balance was like $361. Now it's $211.78. As you guys can see, I did pay off Target. So now the balance is $0. And Klarna, our total balance is $223.18. I am still paying on the mattress that I did purchase about a month ago. So altogether with the mattress and the air conditioner, this is how much I owe altogether to Klarna. So altogether, total debt payments for this month was only $562.15. So now we're going to go ahead and talk about the monthly progress. So last month our debt balance did go up a little bit because I did go into debt for my watch and for the mattress. So last month our total debt balance was $6,389.40. This month our total debt balance is $6,077.16. So our total monthly progress, our debt progress, was only $312.24. I'm believing we paid this off as far as the principal go, and then the rest went to interest. And that's for well, actually the only interest we're paying for is for the Ford, because Best Buy I have 0 interest like for a whole year, and Klarna is 0 interest as well. So I don't know how that works, but anyway, the total debt monthly progress is 5%. So last month we were in the negatives, now we are in the positive. We're moving forward, so that's 5%. We made a 5% progress in our debt monthly payments. So now we're going to go ahead and take a look at the overall debt progress. So when we started in 2022, we had $23,170.40 worth of debt. Now this month our total debt balance is $6,077.16. So altogether we paid off $17,093.24. And that's an overall debt progress of 74%. This number will get to 100%. But like I stated, I do have student loans and I did put them in deferment. So I'm not for sure how I am going to be implementing that debt into my debt payment plan. I'm not ready to pay my student loans just quite yet, but I know eventually I might have to pay them. I'm not for sure. I don't want to pay them, but I might have to pay them. So we'll see when that time comes. But as far as right now, I do not include that in my debt balance or payment plan because I don't plan to pay them at all. So now we're going to go ahead and move on to where did my money go. Okay, so as you all can see, we are now at our where did my money go. We're looking at June's monthly debt and savings breakdown. So we're going to go ahead and get started with the debt side. So our total monthly inflow for June was $3,846.35. Our monthly debt payoff was $562.15. The percent of inflow that went to debt was 15%. So our debt categories were the Ford, and the Ford received $274.37. That was 49% of this $562.15. Best Buy, I think Best Buy received $100 this month. So I'm thinking, let me go back and see. Best Buy received 50 there. Best Buy received, let me see. Best Buy got 50. Nothing. Nothing. Okay. So Best Buy received 0, 0. Yes, 100. So I'm glad I went back to, because I know Best Buy received more than $50 this month. So now I got to go back and redo this page. So Best Buy did receive $100. So So now I got to redo the math over again. Okay, so
See, my days are cold without you, but I'm hurting while I'm near you. And though my heart can't take no more, I keep on running back to you. See, my days are cold without you, but I'm hurting while I'm near you. And though my heart can't take no more, I keep on running back to you. Baby, I don't know why you're treating me so bad. You said you love me, don't wanna find me, and I was all you had. And all my heart is beating for you, I can't stop crying.
okay, so as you all can see, I have to go ahead and update this page. So I did make an extra payment to Klarna. So that Klarna payment, first of all, Best Buy got $100 instead of $50. Klarna received $174.36, and then Target did receive $13.42. So all this did add up to 100%. So I do want to go ahead and make sure that all the payments, all this total equals this number. So 274.37 plus 100 plus 174.36 plus 13.42. Yes, that do equal that number. So I want to go ahead. I'm going to divide the monthly total debt by the inflow. So I'm going to divide it by 3846.35. Multiply that by 100. That do give me 15%. Okay. Whew. So now, as far as savings go, savings only received, our total monthly income was $3,696.35. We saved $150, and that was 4% of our income saved. And like I said, I just put that $150 back towards the emergency. When I borrowed from my emergency, I like to try to put it back, so that's where that money went to. So this is a updated look at our monthly debt and savings breakdown, how it broke down this month. So now we're really going to get into the meat and potatoes of the budget and see what happened this whole month. Okay, so we are now looking at where did my money go for June, our monthly category breakdown. Now we're going to break this down into category. So now we're going to start up here at this first row. So our starting balance, what we came into June with, was $1,198.04. Our earned income was $1,037.40. Other income equaled $1,460.91. And we did use $150 worth of savings. So altogether, our total monthly inflow was $3,846.35. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and move down to our budgeted categories. So for rent, we budgeted $169, and that's exactly what we spent. We had no difference in that. And we spent 4% of our monthly inflow for rent. Utilities, we budgeted $600 for the month. We actually spent $472.94. We were under budget by $127.06, and that was 12% of our total monthly inflow. For insurance, I budgeted $325. We actually spent $327.01. We were over budget by $2.01, and that was 9% of our total monthly inflow. The reason why we were over budget is because I did purchase a watch, and I did add insurance for that watch. So therefore, next month we're going to be budgeting a little bit higher because I did add an Apple product, and I am paying insurance for that Apple product. So for our monthly subscriptions, I budgeted $100 for our monthly subscription. That includes Netflix, Disney Plus, Paramount Plus, all those things. We spent $75.52, so we were under budget by $24.48, and that was 2% of our total monthly inflow. For yearly subscriptions consist of anything that's due during the year. Doing anything that is due one time a year. So registration, my Ring alarm system, things I pay yearly, that's a yearly subscription. So car registration, that's due every year, once a year. So we budgeted $0 for the month. We did not spend nothing this month. So we had no difference, and that was 0% of our total monthly inflow. For debt, I budgeted $500 for debt. We actually spent $562.15. That's because, like I said, I went to Klarna and purchased some things from Klarna. So we were over budget by $62.15, and that was 15% of our total monthly inflow that went to debt. So I don't know if you guys know, or all my OGs that's been here with me, you guys already know this category is always going to be like the highest percentage every time we close out. It don't matter, like the debt is going down, but the percent of monthly inflow, this category always be the highest. One time it was like 30%, 20%. So I am seeing that this number is going down every month, which is good. Okay, for gas, I budgeted $250 for gas for the whole month, and we spent $168.79. So we were under budget by $81.21, and that was 4% of our total monthly inflow. For food out, I budgeted $0 for the whole month, but we spent $53.41. So we were over budget by $53.41, and that was only 1% of our inflow that went towards eating out, which is good. For household, I budgeted $200 for the month. I try to budget $100 every 2 weeks. But we actually spent $317.34. So we were over budget by $117.34, and that was 8% of our total monthly inflow. For me, I budgeted $200 for the month. I actually spent $93.34. So I was under budget by $106.66, and that was 2% of our total monthly inflow. For my daughter, I did budget her $200 for the month. She received $346.41. I did have to purchase her a dresser drawer, and that's where the majority of this money came from. I think that was like $200 something for her dresser. So she was over budget by $146.41, and that was 9% of our total monthly inflow. For my son, I budgeted him $200 for the month. He only spent $64.57. So he was under budget by $135.43, and that was 2% of our total monthly inflow. For miscellaneous, I budgeted $200 for the month. We spent $275.17, so we were over budget by $75.17, and that was 7% of our total monthly inflow. For savings deposited, I planned to save $300 for the month. I was only able to put that $150 back towards my emergency. So we were under budget by $150, and that was 4% of our total monthly inflow. For tithing, I did budget $100 to tithe this month. We were only able to tithe $50, so we were under budget by $50, and that was 1% of our total monthly inflow. I do like to tithe off of my earned income, so that's why I plan to tithe $100 off this total month, this earned income. So as far as the percentage go, it might be more because I want to tithe off of this earned income and not other income or my savings used. So savings spent, even though I did use savings, $150, that $150 went towards bills, and it wasn't like towards a certain thing like car maintenance or gifts and holidays or things like that. So I budgeted $0 to spend. We spent $0, and that was 0% difference. And 0% of our total monthly inflow. So I do like to abbreviate this as car wash / car accessories. I planned $50 for the month, and we spent $25.99. So we were under budget by $24.01, and that was 1% of our total monthly inflow. So altogether, our total that we spent for the month was $3,151.64, and our July start balance is $694.71. When I add these two numbers up, it do give us our total monthly inflow. So let me show you that right now. Okay, so like I said, these two numbers, $3,151.64. We are going to add our July start balance, 694.71. And like I said, this number do match this number. So we are starting our July start balance with $694.71. And as you can see down here, our key down here, the colors over, under, and on budget right here. So looking forward, I am going to rearrange my monthly budget because like I said, insurance did go up, so I'm going to have to budget this number now instead of this number. I'm going to keep my gas the same even though we did spend less this month. I do have some things to do in July and our gas is going to be going up. I am budgeting for, well, you guys will see in July what I'm doing, okay? I'm not going to give away everything I'm going to be doing in July. So we are now looking at where did my money go for June, our monthly comparison spending. So our monthly inflow change was decreased by $2,866.08. We just have those certain months where our income is not going to be the same all the time. So we're going to go ahead and see what happened in June. So I do have a key over here, more or less. What I'm going to be showing you guys is what we spent more in June or less in June of. So example, for rent, there was no change in rent. For utilities, we spent more in June than we did in May. For insurance, we spent more in June than we did in May. Monthly subscriptions, we spent less in June than we did in May because I did take off Paramount Plus, and that was the $5.99 that Paramount Plus was $5.99. I did subtract that, so we did spend less in June. Like I said, yearly subscriptions was 0. Debt, we spent more in June than we did in May. As you can see, we only spent $385 in debt, and this month we spent more. Gas, we spent less in June than we did in May. In May was my graduation month, so we was like running around doing a lot of things. For food out, we spent less this month. No, we spent more this month. Did we? Hold on, wait. This is wrong. This is wrong. We spent more in May. Oh, yeah, that's right. We spent more. Hold on. We spent less in June than we did in May. So this is actually wrong. Let me get my colors. Okay, so we spent less, so this is going to be positive, $9.35. And I'm going to go ahead and highlight this, the correct color. We spent less in June than we did in May for eating out. Household, we spent more in June than we did in May. Me, I spent less in June than we did in May. That's because, like I said, I did graduate, so I spent over $500 for myself in May. So I spent less. Okay, so daughter, she spent more in June than she did in May, as you can see. Son, he spent less in June than he did in May. Last month I bought them $200 pair of shoes for him. Miscellaneous, we spent less this month in June than we did in May. For savings deposited, we saved less than we did. We saved less this month than we did in May. Tithing, we spent less this month than we did in May. Savings spent, we spent less savings this month than we did in May. car wash, car accessories, we spent more in June than we did in May. So only 6 categories we spent more in this month than we did last month. We spent less and more. We spent 9 categories. We spent less this month than we did in May. So that is all that I have for you today. Thank you so much for coming back to close out June with me. I really do appreciate it. You guys keep you guys' eyes open because we're now going to go ahead and set up for July. I would like to thank you all so much for budgeting with me today. See you guys in the next video.
You have to make it. Vibe killer, me I no go take shit.